Well, for me, it was really a very interesting time, and I'm saying that because me coming from Namibia, Southern Africa, coming to West Africa, it's not always like this kind of interactions, and because we believe that actually as a continent, we are going to do better when we actually as a continent interact with each other, so that we can actually learn a lesson from each other, and therefore for me to having come here, it's actually, I actually realized that actually we have a lot of gas that's available on the continent. And not only we have that gas, but we also got a lot of countries now that actually are transforming that gas into electricity. And as you might understand, the biggest problem we really have got on the continent that make it difficult for us to industrialize, for example, is the fact that we don't have energy. And therefore, when you have got this natural resource, that is more often being transformed into energy. I think that's really what it is we need. Those are the lessons to say actually can be done. Sometimes before what used to happen, usually, you discover oil or you discover gas, it's usually for export markets. But now we actually have examples actually where it's actually be used locally, and therefore that's what I think we all need to do. As I was sitting in the discussion, I was just thinking, over the last years, say 2 decades, a number of countries have electrified their economies. And I was just thinking about, where people talk about Africa, the dark continent, and I want to start talking about Africa, the lighter continent, and therefore that's really where we are going. We have learned lessons from each other, and then we continue to learn lessons. And I also want to actually invite our brothers from here, from this region, the MSGB, to come to Namibia and also look at what we are doing. As we were saying in there, we also discover oil and gas. As much as we got lessons to learn from them, I hope also we can actually give them some of the lessons we have actually experienced. I think, as you know, gas has got different usage. Of course, you can use as electricity. You can also actually transform into things like ammonia, which can actually give you fertilizers that you can actually do for your agriculture. And you might also know that Africa is also one of the continents there. As much as we got all the arable land, our agriculture is not really the best we can actually. Therefore, in many of our African countries, we also say we need to actually develop our agricultural industry into industries. But for that, you need to have fertilizers. And therefore, now that we also have got gas, it can also then be transformed to ammonia that can give us the fertilizers and therefore improve our agricultural output. I think really what we want, obviously we know that we need global partnership. That's for, it's given. Now, I mean, no country or no continent can actually be on its own. You can't be in isolation. As long as now when we get together as partners, let's make sure that we are creating a win-win situations and not where, some get more than others, but let's have those win-win situations. And that's what we're looking for, especially when it comes to local content. That is really something which, it can really, really help to industrialize African economies. And that's what we're asking from our international partners. At times, they seem to be hearing that we're actually saying, or they think we're putting too much pressure on them. But if they were to sit, to stand in our shoes, given the kind of challenges we have on the continent, I'm sure they will understand to say, look, when you have got local content, you start to have industry, you start creating employment. The young Africans are actually crying out to say, look, we need to be employed. We have all these skills, but where are the employment opportunities? And therefore, to our global partners, we want to make sure that let's work together towards a win-win situations. And also to the African entrepreneurs, let's go out on the continent. Let's also not be satisfied to be a Namibian entrepreneur only doing a business in Namibia, or a Senegalese just doing it in Senegal. Let me go to Egypt, let me go to Namibia, let's go to South Africa, let's go to the Equatorial Guinea, because that is where I think we can actually create those synergies. So if we do that collaborations, I think we are all going to be happy, because then suddenly Africa is a continent where everybody wants to go.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, cool.